Okay, folks, let's get right to it. Lots to get to. Trump spoke yesterday and spoke last night. Says these allegations by these women are phony and false and fraudulent, and he's not backing down on that. Let's listen to some of what he had to say.
Now today, the same two discredited writers who should have been fired from the New York Times for what they did tell another totally fabricated and false story that supposedly took place on an airplane more than 30 years ago. Another ridiculous tale, no witnesses, no nothing.
Okay, we're going to get back to that accuser on the airplane in just a moment. Here's more from Donald Trump.
I will not allow the Clinton machine to turn our campaign into a discussion of their slanders and lies. But let me state this as clearly as I can. These attacks are orchestrated by the Clintons and their media allies. The only thing Hillary Clinton has going for herself is the press. Without the press, she is absolutely zero.
All right, now Mike Pence was making the rounds today, and here's what he said about the women and the issue and what's to come. Watch.
Frankly, I think even before the day is out, there'll be more evidence publicly that shows and calls into question these latest allegations.
What evidence is coming out?
Well, just stay tuned. I know that there's more information that's going to be coming out that'll back his claim that this is all categorically false.
Okay, we will see. He went on the Today Show after that, or before that, and said a matter of hours. So we'll see where that leads. Now, speaking of leads, no pun intended, Jessica Leeds is the name of the woman who says 35 years ago, while she moved from the coach to first class, they gave her an upgrade for some reason, and she sat next to a guy named Donald Trump. Who introduced himself as Donald Trump. She had no idea who he was. She said, I didn't know about real estate or anything like that. This is 35 or 37 years ago. So she didn't know who he was. She sat next to him. Now, if he groped her, if anybody touches anybody, it's a crime. Let me make that clear. But listen to what she said, which struck me, and I haven't heard this talked about anywhere. But boy, did it strike me. If I'm on a jury and I hear this woman take the stand and this is what she says about being sexually assaulted, I'm going to say, huh? Watch.
If he had stuck with the upper part of the body, I might not have gotten that upset. But it's when he started putting his hand up my skirt, and that was it. That was it. I was out of there.
So if he sexually assaulted you on your upper part of the body, you might have been okay with it? That's what she, again, if anybody's sexually assaulted, if she was sexually assaulted, it's a crime. But having said that, if I'm on a jury, and that's how I'm presenting this from that, and I'm judging this case on her account, and she says, well, if he only sexually assaulted me on my breasts, I might have been okay with it. Leads me to think, was she leading him on? If he touched her, again, I don't think he did it. If he touched her breast or upper part of the body and she was okay with that, did he interpret that as a signal to try the next step? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. I was floored when I heard that. I don't get it. Again, if she was sexually assaulted against her will, or any woman is, it's a crime, and the person belongs in jail. I don't think Donald Trump did it, and I don't get this story. I just don't get it, based on what she just said. Help me, because I don't understand it. I don't get what she means. Partial sexual assault at that point with this person, if he just kept it there, was okay? That's what she's saying in my mind. If I'm on a jury, that's what I'm going to interpret it as. So no one has brought that up. No one has played that part and said, oh, did you hear what she said? All right, quickly, before we get to Andy McCarthy, there's an email from 2008, January of 2008, showing how John Podesta, Paul Begala, and a Hillary pollster colluded. Watch this. This is it. There's all the names, Podesta, Podesta, I don't see, let's see, is Begala in there? Okay, I don't see Begala. Yeah, Begala, Podesta, okay, all that, Polster. They're reworking the Obama message into a survey, and they list a whole bunch of things that they could get Obama on. And let's watch. Let's go to the next one quickly here. Obama was the only candidate at a recent event not to cover his heart during the national anthem, and he has stopped wearing an American flag pin. And then get this one. Obama's father was a Muslim, and Obama grew up among Muslims in a world's most populous Islamic country. They saw that as a negative. Yes, indeed. And they also said that Obama described his former use of cocaine as using, quote, a little blow, which he did in his book, of course. Obama voted against requiring medical care for aborted fetuses who survived the procedure. Now, when Republicans bring this up, now McCain never did, and you know, and that was a shame. But when Republicans, talk show hosts like me, brought this up, oh, we were anti-black. We didn't like him because he was black. But they had all this written up, especially the Muslim issue. Now, folks, I want to hear from you. We're having a little trouble reaching Andy McCarthy. This is live TV. We are live. It's America Talks Live. You get the live part. I'd like to hear from you about the campaign, where we are. It's been a while since I've been able to take your phone calls in this time slot. We've had some reconstruction work and different things at our New York studio, and Ed Berliner did a wonderful job filling this slot. But we're back, 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. Been a while since we talked. So where are we in the campaign right now? Are you worried? There are polls out today. There's a Gallup poll that shows that only 28% of Americans think the country is headed in the right direction. 28%. Given that climate, how on earth does anyone who feels that way pull the lever for Hillary Clinton? How? It would be an Obama third term, but only worse. It would continue the direction, but only in an accelerated pace. So that's encouraging if you're a Republican and if you're a Trump supporter, I believe. Also, we have Trump up by 2 in the Rasmussen poll, and a dead heat with Hillary less than a point lead in the LA Times poll. Also, it's a dead heat in Ohio. Basically a dead heat in North Carolina. He's behind slightly in Florida. He's, I think, tied or up in New Hampshire. So this should be over. I mean, with the media coverage, with the accusations, with the sex tape now in the rearview mirror, quote unquote, this should be over, right? Why aren't they 50 points ahead, you might ask? Remember that one? Well, why isn't she pulling away? She can't. Because as flawed as Donald Trump is, she's even more flawed. People see Donald Trump as a person, as a businessman, as someone who's been involved in business his whole life. You could love him, you could hate him, you could think he's successful, you could think he's awful, you could think he hates women, but whatever. He's not a politician. He's a person. And it's more acceptable for a person to be flawed than it is for a lifelong politician to be a compulsive, congenital liar, I believe, in the minds of the voters. And the fact that these polls, when has it been less popular? When has it been in the minds of a voter sitting at home getting a call from a pollster? When has it been more of a challenge, an embarrassment, a mark against you if you tell the pollster, I'm voting for Donald Trump? Oh, now they know. So right along, we've always said there have been people who are afraid to say they were for Trump. Well, that, in my mind, would be true now more than ever. More than ever. Yet, Hillary's not pulling away. Hillary's not pulling away. The Wall Street Journal poll that we saw where she had an 11-point lead, John Zogby even says, I'm not put words in his mouth, flawed, let's put it that way, to be kind. Hardly any Republicans in that sample. The CNN poll that showed Hillary won the debate, 58% of those who were polled favored Hillary before the debate. So when 57% say she won the debate, it's not news. What happened to the other percent? Where'd he go or she go? So at a time when telling pollsters I'm for Donald Trump can be perceived as, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let anybody know. I might vote for him, yeah, but I'm not going to tell anybody. He's still in this race. So what does that tell you? He has a chance here. He has a very good chance. The next debate will be crucial. Hillary now says he was stalking me on Sunday night in that other debate. Poor little woman Hillary, he was stalking me. Oh, the strongest woman in the world was being stalked by Donald Trump. She'll play the sex card whenever it benefits her. And you know what? People don't buy it. The panel is next, folks, with Kristen Tate and Julio Rivera. Don't go away.